If supply is what producers are willing to offer, then demand is the other half of the story. It tells us what consumers are willing to buy. Every day, you make decisions that reflect demand, whether it's paying $6 for a fancy coffee or waiting for a sale before buying shoes. Think about pizza. At $3 a slice, you might buy 2, but if the price drops to $1, you might buy 4. That willingness to buy more at lower prices, that's demand in action. The law of demand states that, everything else being equal, more products will be demanded at a lower price than at a higher price. Economists use the Latin phrase ceteris paribus, which means all other things being equal. That means we assume that incomes, tastes, population, and related prices all stay the same, so we can isolate the relationship between price and quantity demanded. When the price of gas rises, many people drive less or carpool more. Quantity demanded decreases. When gas prices drop, people drive more. Quantity demanded increases. The demand curve shows this relationship between price and quantity. It always slopes downward from left to right, showing an inverse relationship. As price falls, quantity demanded rises. There are 2 main reasons for this. Substitution effect. When prices rise, people switch to cheaper alternatives. Example, if the price of ground beef doubles, you might buy chicken instead. Income effect. When prices rise, purchasing power falls. Your money doesn't buy as much. Example, if snack prices go up, you might buy fewer overall. While the law of demand explains how price affects quantity demanded, sometimes demand changes for other reasons, even when the price stays the same. These are called the determinants of demand. Let's explore each one with examples. When consumers' income changes, so does their ability to buy goods. If people earn more money, they can afford to buy more. Demand increases. If incomes fall, they buy less. Demand decreases. A raise at work might mean more nights eating out. A pay cut could mean fewer restaurant visits and more home cooking. Consumers' tastes and preferences, what people like and value, change over time and directly affect demand. If something becomes more desirable, demand increases. If it goes out of style, demand falls. When everyone starts drinking iced coffee instead of hot coffee, the demand for iced coffee rises. When people become health conscious, demand for sugary snacks may drop. Trends can create big changes in demand, sometimes overnight. These are broader social influences or popular movements that shape what people buy. A viral TikTok video featuring a certain brand of headphones causes demand to skyrocket. A back-to-school season or holiday shopping trend increases demand for supplies or gifts. The prices of other products, substitutes and complements, can also shift demand. Substitutes, goods that can replace one another. Example, if the price of Pepsi increases, demand for Coke may rise. Complements, goods used together. Example, if the price of smartphones drops, demand for phone cases increases. If consumers expect prices to change, they often adjust their buying habits. If people expect gas prices to rise next week, they'll fill up today. If shoppers expect a big Black Friday sale, they'll wait to buy until prices drop. The size of the market, or number of potential buyers, affects demand too. As population grows, demand for goods like housing, groceries, and clothing rises. A smaller population means fewer buyers and lower overall demand. A new housing development brings hundreds of families. Grocery store sales increase. When any of these determinants change, the entire demand curve shifts, not just the quantity demanded. An increase in demand shifts the curve to the right. People want more at every price. A decrease in demand shifts the curve to the left. People want less at every price. Right shift. A new study says dark chocolate is healthy. Demand rises. Left shift. A price drop for streaming services reduces demand for movie DVDs. It's important to remember the difference between a change in demand and a change in quantity demanded. A change in quantity demanded happens when price changes. You move along the demand curve. A change in demand happens when something other than price changes. The curve shifts entirely. If the price of coffee drops from $4 to $2, more people buy it. That's a change in quantity demanded. But if tea becomes the new health trend, fewer people buy coffee. That's a change in demand. Let's review what we've learned about demand. Demand is what consumers are willing and able to buy at different prices. The law of demand says that, everything else being equal, more will be demanded at a lower price than a higher price. The demand curve slopes downward, showing the inverse relationship between price and quantity. Determinants of demand, like income, tastes, trends, substitutes, complements, expectations, and number of buyers, can shift the entire curve. A shift means consumers want more or less at every price. And remember, a change in demand is not the same as a change in quantity demanded. Understanding demand helps us see how consumer choices shape the economy. One purchase, one price change, one trend at a time.